exciting childhood stories, really. But I want to do something, it took me a while to come up with a creative idea to describe myself without just telling you about myself. So what I decided upon was telling you about two of my heroes, because I figure if you know who I want to be, you've got a good sense of who I am. So first, and most important I think, is my dad. He's been my hero ever since I was a little kid. He's a retired Air Force pilot who went to the academy, so I've basically been following his footsteps all my life. And he's really taught me some great lessons that I try to emulate, much like you do with your sisters. So first is definitely service. Like I said before, he's an academy guy, a pilot, and he's a career Air Force officer, and even still works for the government today as a contractor. And so throughout his life, he's always kind of lived for something else and tried to put service first. And he does it with our family as well. He always puts us in front of him. And that's something that I really want to take hold of and bring into my life as well. Whether or not, hopefully down the road I have a family and I can put them first as well. And then also just really finding something to live for, something I see as my calling, and trying to live my life to best fulfill that. And that's something I really learned from my father. Also, his drive is something I really look up to and aspire to have. And that started with me in sports. I played lacrosse all my life. I played here for a little bit. And I always remember telling my dad about all these goals I have and all these different things. And he'd say, "That's great, I'm sure you can do it, but work for it. Make sure you earn it." And I really appreciate those lessons, and especially coming here now and everything else I've done in my life. Just knowing that from his example, I try to never be outworked. And if I do that, I typically see success and reach my goals. So I hope to bring that trait from my dad, my hero, as well. Next, and this hero is a little random. His name is Marcus Aurelius. He was a Roman emperor, kind of the last nice Roman emperor, and he wrote a book called Meditations, which is basically, it was never meant to be published. It was just kind of his own ramblings to himself. And I read it, and it really inspired me. It's really interesting to me. A little background of him. He's basically, at this point in the Roman Empire, he's literally the most powerful person in the world. He had no equal. And in his book, he often speaks about humility, in that he hasn't really done anything except for what he's supposed to do. And that's pretty powerful, coming from someone who could literally have whatever he wanted in the world. Nobody else is even close to being on this level. So that's something I try to bring into my life as well, is a strong sense of humility. Really understanding that, I might have a success, I might struggle, but in the end I just have to do what I'm supposed to do, and everything will take care of itself. Another thing is, another trait he has is self-control, and comes from, he's also kind of a philosopher as well as an emperor. Pretty interesting guy, you guys should read his book. But he always practiced self-control with, especially his emotions, and that's something I try to be as well. I try to be really reserved and even-keeled, and I think it's helped me out a lot through my life, different things I've done, sports, being here, obviously, test your emotional resolve at times. And from his lessons in his book, he often preaches, here he is as an emperor, a philosopher, someone who's just really has no peer, and he has to work with all these people who might be greedy, might be just in it for money or power or anything like that, and he has to constantly remind himself that it's okay. You just have to deal with these people, work with them as best you can. You can only control what you can control. And so that's something I really try to bring into my life as well. And so far, I think by really having heroes and trying to emulate them, I've been able to bring a lot more positive traits and growth in my life. And these are just two examples. My dad being obviously my closest hero, someone I can actively talk to and get mentorship from. And then also Marcus Aurelius and his book. That's kind of more abstract way, just something that really empowered me and changed my thinking. And I think, well, I don't know if I'll ever be as good as either of those men. I think if I try, I'll at least be better than I am today.